When it comes to the black gatekeepers in fashion, Andre and Virgil are at the very front of the gate. But which black mogul can we depend on next that would do more than just step up to the plate? Let's discuss. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beasley here. Hope you all are staying cool, calm, and collected out there. So I apologize for the delay. I just had to get my mind right so I can come back to you guys and play. But the thing I want to discuss today is the void that is going to be left after the death of Andre Leon Talley and Virgil Abloh. The big void in terms of black fashion in the overall fashion industry. So first off, I want to say rest in peace to Andre Leon Talley. Even though I have a little bit of issues with him before he died, I will say his impact was immensely needed within the fashion industry. Andre Leon Talley was the only black editor of Vogue. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but from what I've researched, he was the only person to ever hold that title within Vogue, which Vogue is the golden rule in fashion. Anna Wintour, despite what you guys may think about her, I'm a fan of Anna Wintour, but hopefully she's not racist behind the scenes. I can't take another one of my white faves being racist, but anyways. Anna Wintour is the queen of fashion. What she says goes, and the trends that you guys see today came straight from the Vogue offices, and the one person that was her right-hand man in charge was Andre Leon Talley. Now, Andre Leon Talley's journey at Vogue started in, I want to say, 1983. He was like the fashion news editor, and he worked his way all the way up to being the editor-in-chief. Andre Leon Talley was the advocate for having, for all of these fashion shows, including black models. Especially in the 90s when we saw an influx of black models from Naomi Campbell, Tyra Banks. In the 80s, it was Beverly Johnson and a slew of other girls. All the black girls that were on the runway in the 80s and 90s, they were in that place largely due to Andre Leon Talley. He also was the one person that mentored and groomed a lot of the black designers you see today, especially one of the latest designers by the name of Laquan Smith. Y'all, Laquan Smith is the absolute truth. Very underrated. I don't see a lot of buzz about him, talking about his fashion, but y'all, his fashions are just on point, just beautiful, very, very modern, very chic, very elegant and glamorous. Laquan Smith is amazing. And there would not be a Laquan Smith if it wasn't for Andre Leon Talley. That was one of his last gifts to this world, in my opinion. Because my one issue, now I don't want to disrespect the dead, but I will say the one issue I had with Andre Leon Talley is then around, I want to say, the 2010s to the 2020s, it kind of seemed like he kind of waned from being the black advocate in fashion to kind of just being more self-serving. He kind of was just happy to be the one black person in these white spaces. That's just the vibe that I got from him. Y'all can correct me down in the comments if you want to, but that's just what Andre Leon Talley gave before he died. He was just so happy to be up under these powerful white people in the industry and happy to be the token black dude around all of them, in my opinion. But like I said, that's no disrespect to this man's name and what he carved out in his legacy, because Andre Leon Talley, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't see a lot of black faces within the fashion industry. And then we have Virgil Abloh. We can't forget Virgil Abloh. He died back in the fall. He was the only creative director over LVMH. And I noticed with Andre Leon Talley and Virgil is the fact that they were talented at what they did. They were great at what they did. They had a clear direction for not only Vogue magazine, but also for Louis Vuitton to steer in a more modern and trendy direction. But however, it just feels like the industry scooped those two up, not only because of their talent, but because they were black and they were seen as the token, because they would come up. They were able to get in these spaces, but they weren't able to do too much to where there's too much blackness. I will never forget that photo I saw of Virgil Abloh and his team, and it was nothing but whiteness. Now, no disrespect, but in that photo, Virgil Abloh was legit a piece of tree bark in a field of snow. That's just what it gave, and it just made me think that okay, we can invite black people into these spaces, but we can't let them do too much to where they where there's too much inclusivity, if that makes sense. It's like in terms of powerful black men in the fashion industry, there could only be one that's at the very top of, you know, the whole entire hierarchy. But when they come in, they can't bring in Darius, Deshaun, and Daquan to replace Tom, Dick, and Harry. But back to my point, y'all, with the passing of Virgil Abloh and Andre Leon Talley, who can we run to? Who as black people can we run to that are going to like go to back for us and make sure that we are being represented and making sure that our designs aren't stolen by other like white designers or like other like more powerful designer and fashion houses? Who are we going to have in these high spaces at Vogue and at LVMH to advocate for black designers and black talent? And y'all, currently as of today, the only two people that I have in mind that can like go ahead and fill those shoes are Rihanna and Kanye West. Now Kanye West, the man is a depressed mess, a hot ass mess, but the man, he does know fashion. Now, no matter how ugly his shoes are, people run out and buy them because they're Yeezy. Like I always say, Kanye West is a master manipulator. He manipulates the masses into falling in love with his fashions. Like he was able to get all of you guys to run out and support and buy his futuristic runaway slave fashions. Like y'all, whether you want to admit it or not, you like Yeezys. If you don't like Kanye West, you still like Yeezys. And then going into Rihanna, y'all, Rihanna just has the game on lock, y'all. The only thing that Rihanna flopped in was putting out her luxury line by the name of Fenty. But that mainly flopped because it came out like either in the middle of the pandemic or like right before it. And then on top of that, her fan base, like we got coin, but we ain't got coin like that. But Fenty Beauty, Fenty Skin, Savage Fenty, it's dope. And don't even forget Puma Fenty that started it all. Puma X Fenty. I have about like, I want to say 6 pairs of Rihanna's creepers that I need to sell, to be honest with you. And I even wear Rihanna's Fenty slides as house shoes or when I'm walking to the mailbox. So y'all, Rihanna has the game on lock. Like honestly and truthfully, if she doesn't go back to music, I don't blame her because she, besides Kanye West, is the one person that is being groomed for that top spot of being a fashion gatekeeper. And besides her, who else will we have? I mean, Oliver Roostig, I guess, who, in my opinion, he's over Balmain, so he's going to be too busy with that. And he's doing wonderful things at Balmain. They just had like a nice Barbie collaboration. Very dope. Check it out. We also can't depend on Kimora Lee Simmons, who let Baby Fat turn into swap meet fashions, very city trends. She too busy using that as a fundraiser for her philandering cheating ex-white husband. So she's a little too focused on other BS to become a gatekeeper in fashion when she could have been there if Homegirl would have stayed the course and stayed focused. And y'all, it just leads me back to this saying that I always say until I'm blue in the face, that this industry needs to start grooming these younger people for these spaces that these older people are either going to retire from or die off of. And the only people in the younger generation that I could think of that could be groomed for this position in the near future, probably in the next 10 years, for one is Ty Hunter. Ty Hunter, he is Beyonce's stylist. He's gotten her together for years, him and Destiny's Child. He could be groomed for editor-in-chief at Vogue. He could definitely fill Andre Leon Talley's shoes, in my opinion. And then we can't forget Dapper Dan. He's a hip-hop fashion designer way back from the 90s, probably the 80s. I think he's probably a little too preoccupied with working with Gucci, trying to get their racist asses together. But he could definitely be an editor-in-chief at Vogue, and he could definitely be the creative director over LVMH. But I think Gucci and Louis Vuitton are competitors, so that probably won't work out. And then, like I said earlier, Laquan Smith. Now, Laquan Smith may be too focused on his own brand, but he could definitely do a little yang around Vogue. And don't forget the one and only Telfar Clemens. Now, you guys, I don't carry handbags myself, but lately I've been seeing some bags that are coming out that are hot. I may start buying me a few bags because, baby, this black Telfar bag that he's about to release probably is already sold out already, y'all. I'm gonna put a picture up. This bag is on point, just sickening, just beautiful, just amazing piece of fashion. Just, love it. So simple yet so amazing. But Telfar Clemens could definitely be groomed for like the next creative director over LVMH. But like I said, he's probably focused on his own brand as well. There could definitely be a Telfar Louis Vuitton collaboration, y'all. That would be amazing. Oh my God, I would have to get me something. Like, y'all, I don't even really buy designer pieces like that. But baby, Telfar, anything that he's a part of, I would definitely support. But yeah, y'all, I was rambling. You know, I always ramble. I always go on a tangent because, you know, when I talk about these topics, I talk about them because I'm passionate and because I care. But let me know what you guys think about the huge void that is about to be left by Virgil Abloh and Andre Leon Talley, and who do you guys think could fill their shoes? But those are my views, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to come back at you guys with some more content.